My boyfriend and I moved in together about 3 months ago. Recently we got a joint account for grocery shopping. The plan is that we both put in $210, so we have $420 for the entire month. This weekend we are having a movie marathon at my brother and Asael's, and I baked a cake, some buns, and bought some snacks. We were running low on some staple things such as eggs, milk and flour, so I bought this as well. I also bought some spring rolls for an easy dinner, as well as a big bag of dates that will last forever and be used for lots of stuff. It all came to around $70 today, while I was at my brother's and my boyfriend hadn't arrived yet. Because he didn't feel like watching 4 movies in a row, my boyfriend wrote me a message with just my name. Nothing else. He normally never uses my real name, unless I've done something real bad. So my heart instantly started beating faster and I felt kind of sick. He then asked, "What have you spent $70 on?" And I explained that I had bought stuff for the weekend, as well as some staple stuff. My brother and Asael are providing food as well as snacks and soda. He was going on about it being a lot of money and that he didn't understand how I was even able to spend this much. I explained to him that the prices are crazy right now and that just the milk, eggs, flour and butter had been $14. He then wrote that he felt I was being rude/flippant, not sure how to explain it in English, but in its essence a kind of rude word, that means that I'm not respecting him. Which I did not feel applied to my behavior whatsoever. I honestly felt like it was the complete opposite. I am now left with an awful feeling. My parents has always had a dynamic where my dad got mad at my mom when she spent money. I don't want this dynamic in my relationship, and now I'm kind of afraid that we will end up like that. I realized that $70 is a lot of money, but that's honestly the times we are living in. At least where we live. I was invited for Thanksgiving dinner at a friend's house. There will be lots of kids there, probably about 10 at least, all under the age of 10. Youngest is 3 months, and their parents will also be there. I'm child-free by choice. I was asked to help with the kids that day and I said no. Their parents plus a lot of other people will be there, so I don't see a point. Just because I'm child-free doesn't mean that I want to help with kids and babysit for free on a holiday. Plus I'm not good with newborns. Some of the people are saying I'm TA because I'm not giving the parents a break for one day. My thing is those are their kids, so it's their responsibility, and just because I'm CF doesn't mean I'm obligated to give up my holiday. So am I the asshole? When I was about 10, my mom married my stepfather. I have an older brother Luke who was 15. My stepfather had Amy and Ada who were 12 and 11. We didn't come from a privileged background. My mom was a minute wage worker and my dad was absent. Our stepfather had a very good income. Their deal was that they wouldn't combine finances, and they would each contribute equally to the household, and then each takes care of their children with their spare money, so my mom never had anything for us. And my stepfather was spending big on his kids. This included holidays which Luke and I were excluded from. Stepfather would pay for mom, but not us. Luke and I also shared a room even though Amy and Ada had their own rooms and we had a guest room, because stepfather insisted that he was paying more towards the house, so my mom's share would only get her one room for the kids. Luke and I were constantly teased for this situation by the 3 of them as we grew up. My mom always said that we should be thankful because if it wasn't for our stepfather we would not be living in a nice home in a good neighborhood. Anyway, Luke and I became determined to be able to take care of ourselves so that we wouldn't need to take nonsense from anyone. We have both done quite well with our careers and finances, and we are in a very good place. Since turning 18 and moving out, my relationship with the 3 of them has been very limited. I wouldn't call us friends, but we can exist peacefully if we are in the same place. I visited my mom recently and my stepfather mentioned that Amy wants to buy a house now that she's pregnant. He asked me if I'm able to help out a little with the deposit. The house is £500,000 and she needs a £150,000 deposit. She has £100,000 so far. £25,000 on her own, £25,000 from her mum and £50,000 from stepfather. He was asking if Luke and I can help cover the extra £50,000 and he said he'd pay us back as part of the inheritance eventually. I said no. He insisted that Luke and I both own our houses outright and with our incomes, so we should be able to help. I said whether I can or not is irrelevant, my answer is no. He reminded me that Luke and I each gave £10,000 to our cousin for buying a house as a gift. Amy is my sister and he's offering to pay us back. I said that was our choice then, this is my choice now. He insisted that we should be willing to help out our family if we're able to. I replied back, like how you helped me and Luke when we were kids. Everyone just went quiet when I said this. After a while, he said if we went back in time he'd have done things differently. Treated all four of us equally. I said that's good of you, but doesn't make you entitled to my money now. He said he knows he's not entitled, that's why he's asking and promising to pay it back. I said the answer still is no, not entitled to a loan either. My mom later told me I could have turned him down without being an asshole or bringing up childhood, which he already feels guilty about. Am I the asshole? I'm going to be vague because I don't want to turn this into a political debate because it's not one. I'm hosting TG this year and everyone is excited. My house is in a warm location near beaches, so everyone in the family is excited to get out of the cold and dig their toes into sand. My family is large and as expected, we all fall under different parts of the political spectrum. We might not agree with each other on some issues, but we treat each other with respect and love. That is, except for my sister Carrie and her husband Bob. They strongly believe in their politics and view anyone who doesn't agree with them as being wrong and need to be taught to be correct. Even family members who are in the same political party are wrong if they're not in 100% agreement on every issue. Every get-together turns into a heated debate with them on one side against everyone else, even with the people who vote as they do. Frankly, it's exhausting and life-draining just to be in the same room with them. To head off any political debate this year, I included in the invitation email a ban on political discussions and a request for a monetary deposit of $500. I picked this amount because everyone can afford it, but I wanted it to be a painful loss if they lose it. I stated that this money will be returned at the end of the night if politics are not discussed. Whoever brings up politics will lose their deposit. Everyone agreed and sent me the money except for Carrie and Bob. They replied that this was stupid and they don't have to pay a deposit to come to a family gathering. I answered since it's my house, it's my rules. We went back and forth until I got tired of it and uninvited them. I'm here because they have children who will be affected by my decision and my parents are trying to talk me out of it. They want to see all of their grandchildren and they think it's cruel to prevent Carrie's from coming. They even offered to cover Carrie's deposit, but I firmly told them no. Am I the asshole for requiring a deposit to come to TG? My brother and sister-in-law moved into my parents' house where I live a few weeks ago with their 2-year-old while their house is being renovated. I watch my nephew sometimes, but I don't know much about kids or taking care of them. I usually go to the gym very early on weekend mornings when it isn't crowded. Yesterday morning I got up and went to the gym as usual, no one was up yet. At the gym I leave my phone in the locker so I don't get distracted. I did my workout and went in the sauna for a while. When I got my phone out of the locker I had a bunch of calls and texts from sister-in-law demanding to know where I was, saying she needed me to watch my nephew while her and brother went out on errands. When I came home she blew up on me for not checking they needed me before going to the gym. They had errands to run and she missed her nail appointment. I don't think that's fair, but now I'm feeling terrible about it.